Hello, greetings, and how are you? Aloha. I'm not in Hawaii, but I'll say aloha anyway. And and all of that stuff. Hello. Now, this is the second time I'm doing this here video. I did it the first time and I tried to do it very professionally, and then I watched it back and I said, "Oh my word, that is not me. That is somebody else on there." And so then I said, "I'm going to do this over again." So what I'm telling you here though is the Arteza company, the Arteza family has been contacting different artists and artist wannabes and the normal oh no, that wouldn't be me. Well, just average people to look at their items and to kind of give our idea of what we think about them. So they sent to me an email, and that made me feel very special that they sent me an email asking me if I wanted to try out some of their supplies. And of course, being me, and I'm always ready to try something new, I said, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You send me on those things, and I'm going to be on them like white on rice." And so they sent me a very large box of very wonderful things. These here pens are water pens, water brushes. They're called water brushes. There's a 6-pack. They're premium. It says, "If your product does not perform properly, please contact us for replacement." Join the Arteza Club. Now, there must be an Arteza Club. I haven't looked into that. And it says the water brush pens are available in a variety of types and sizes, and it tells you where to go visit. Okay, they're in Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware. An American company, yes. So this was the package that these came in. There's 3 flat brushes of different sizes, 3 flat brushes, wide, not quite as wide, and least as wide. See, now I have, since I've already used them, see, they stain up because they're synthetic. They stain up, but that stain that you see on there, it doesn't show up on your next use. It washes. It is, even though it's stained, it still works just beautiful. And so, and then there's the very narrow one. Okay, now, and then these 3 are round and pointed, and there's 3 different sizes of those. Can you see that? Can you see that? Three different sizes of the pointy brushes. Now, I like water brushes because then if you want to add a little bit more water to your paint, you just squeeze the little thing that says push, and it pushes a little bit more water into your paint, so you don't have to go dip it in the water to put more water in your paint. You just give it a little squeeze and you'll get a drop of water. So that is what I like about water brushes. They sent me 3, 1, 2, 3 books of 30 sheets watercolor pads, and it says on here expert. So once you paint in here, you're an expert. It's cold press, dual-sided, acid-free, spiral bound. Ideal for watercolor techniques and mixed media. It's 140 pound, and it's 2-sided, so you have a textured side and a smooth side. See, I was playing with it already, just playing, and I am loving this paper. Okay, what this is gonna knock your socks off. So I hope y'all wearing socks. But yeah, my first video I tried to be like professional and stuff, but it was so fake when I watched it back. It was just like so fake. I said I can't put that up. And so now here is, so this has already been through. When my first one, I unwrapped it and everything, you know, real professionally like. And now this time, no. But there is 60, what's this? Oh, rubbish. 60 colors of gouache watercolor paint in here. 60. Can you count to 60? It takes me a long time to count even to 60. Oh, see, I didn't put them back in there straight. But oh my word, 60 colors of gouache paint. 60 tubes. Look how beautiful. Look at, you know, here's more, see? I mean, just count to 60 on your fingers. You know, you'd have to go through your fingers 6 times using all your fingers. Look at all these. Look at them all. Look at them all. And so I am so truly excited. I am excited to have these. Now, I went through a few videos. Because I have been wanting to learn watercolor painting already for like excuse me, like for a coon's age. I do not know how long a coon lives. But for a coon's age, I have been wanting to learn watercolors. And so I have played with them and done different things with them. And I like them. And I want to learn more. But I'm 70 years old. Well, I'm not quite 70, but next month. Next month? No, 2 more months. I'll be 70 years old. Cheers to Folgers. Folgers in your cup. Okay, the Arteza people are wonderful. There will be a link even below. Now, there's going to be a link below this video that if you follow that link, if you're interested in looking at what Arteza sells, it's not just these paints. It's not just these paints. They sell this type of paint in different sizes. Now, this is a 60 piece, but they sell them in smaller ones as well. And then you can get only the pearl colors in a different package. But then they also sell the pan paints, I think you call them, that are just like dry and you just reactivate them with water. They sell them. They sell watercolor brushes. They sell sewing supplies. They sell so many art supplies. I still haven't looked at their whole entire site to see everything they sell. Now, what I see nice on these tubes is, and this I've learned is not on all tubes, on all paints that you, now here is, up at the top of the tube here, it'll tell you the color of the paint, and it's violet, and it's got 3 plus signs. That is the light fastness. So, because it's light fast paint, if it's got 3 plus signs, then it's very light fast. This one, oh no, wait a minute. This one's got, I think they might, maybe they, all have 3. I don't know. But then also there's a square in the middle. There's a square, and that square, if it's completely colored in, that means that it is opaque. This one's only half colored in, so then that one means that it is not truly opaque. It is still opaque, but less opaque and kind of transparent. That's coming straight from the tube. And then over here on the side, on this side, it shows you what colors are mixed, because each color has a number. I'm looking on here to see. I don't have my glasses on. But anyway, it has the what colors are mixed to make this color. Like this one's violet and this one's Prussian blue. Prussian blue. And so it shows you what colors that are mixed to make this color. All right. So and apparently that's not on all paints that you get that information, but it is here. Now this here is a 12 milliliter tube. Now I'm understanding that most paints, oh, excuse me, I have an interruption. Oh, you look like you are ready to go.
I am going to motivate.
Okay, you be real careful out there. Yeah, okay. I love you, and I'll see you when you come back. I'm doing a little video here. Say hello, folks.
Hi, folks.
Yeah,
I'm going to go catch Pokemon.
Yeah, that's the hubster. He's going to go Pokemoning. Okay, and I'm just going to play with my paints. So, now I started saying that below there's going to be a link to go right to the site, which you can go to the site of Arteza and see what all they have to offer. Now the link is going to also give you a 10% off of your total order. The link, if you order, and I'm not saying order, you just if you want to. If you want to. But like I say, I played with these already once. Love them. Love them. There's so much pigment in these paints that a little bit goes a long way. Now, if you can use these paints right straight as it comes from the tubes, or you can use it by watering it down. Now, one lady, I seen how she described it, is if you're using your paint right from the tube, she calls it buttery. That's the texture is buttery. And then you can add different amounts of water. So if she adds a little bit of water, it's sort of like a cream consistency. A little bit more water, it's like a milk consistency. A little bit more water, it's like a coffee consistency, and a little bit more, and it's like tea. And so the water that you add makes it more transparent, takes the opaqueness away, but it is still opaque. One thing I want to try here now today is I'm going to put some of my paints now. I want some paints, and I'm going to just choose violet is one of my favorites. I'm going to take that one, and I'm going to get a, let's see, I'm going to take this peach red, and I will take, let's take this Bordeaux red. You have to, this color that it shows you at the top, I have noticed that sometimes it's exactly what you see in the tube, but sometimes it's a little off. So you must, you know, squeeze some out on your palette or something to find out what maybe, if it's what you want. Or, you know, you just look, this is orange. And if I look at that orange and I look at this, yep, it looks the same. Here's a pearl emerald green. So there's pearl. I don't know how many pearls in here, but I do know, because I didn't put all the pearls together. Maybe I should have did that. Because here's a pearl scarlet. Let me take that one too. Now see, that does look a lot like this same pearl emerald green. I don't know which one wasn't exactly. And then there's yellow, bumblebee yellow. Just bumblebee yellow. Oh, I just love paint. Okay, and let's see. Let's try a gray here. This is Pearl Noir. Okay, and I'm just getting a few colors out here. And I'm just kind of, here's a mid yellow. And I noticed that when I was Carillion blue, it's a blue. And then let me get another green here. Let's try sap green. Sap green is a very common color that painters use. And then let's get a brown. Here's let's try the burnt umber. And what's in here? Here's okay, I love you. You be very careful. Okay. Bye-bye, sweetie. Okay. Our car was broke. Our truck was broke. And it because it was missing. I told you all that before. And it was missing something. It was like you know, that's called missing, like that. I don't know, something like that. But apparently what it needed was one spark plug was not firing or something. And one spark plug was not firing. And the coil, it needed a coil. And do you know who done it? Who fixed it? My daughter. I tell you, I sing her praises all the time because that girl is the apple of my eye when it comes to doing anything. She watched on YouTube videos and she found out how to change that coil, and so she changed it. Now we have a gentleman we can call when we need car fixing, but Tommy Sue said, let me try it myself first, see if I can figure out how to do it and save us a nickel, you know. And she did. And I am so excited. I'm proud of that girl. I'm telling you, she is amazing. So anyhow, so now his truck is working and he's going down to the park. Because he usually goes on Wednesdays, but Wednesday the car was broke, the truck was broke. And so he didn't go on Wednesday. Okay, so now I squeezed out, I squozed out some paints here. Okay, let me move these out the way. I squozed them out into my palette. What is these, cookie crumbs? I squozed them out into my palette, and I'm going to play with them. This is the only way I can show these paints is to just play with them. And so, oh, like I was saying, I get disrupted easy, but I was saying that if you go through the link below the video, it'll take you to the Arteza sales floor, and 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 um, and if you are kind enough to order something from there, if you find it in your heart that you want it, don't just order it, because I'm saying you only order if you can afford, and if you want to, and so then I will get a little kickback from your order. I'm not sure how much of a kickback from it, a little bit of something. But anytime I can make a little extra money, um, it's good for me. I get excited because then that goes into my craft supply buying fund. Now, do you see how I'm putting masking tape? I learned this too. I learned by watching them videos. I'm a monkey see, monkey do person. So I watch the videos, and I'm first putting this tape on my shirt and then pulling it back off, because then it's not quite as sticky. I'm just using masking tape. You can use any kind of tape for this here. You can, some of it'll stick better. There's regular painter's tape, I bet, and that'll work, or you can use washi tape or whatever. And so, but what I want to do here is I want to first do a wash. And so I'm going to take my widest brush, which would be this one, and I'm going to take my widest brush. All right. And for a wash now, that's going to be the back. I want to do the background of my picture, of my art process. Now, like I say, I am so not in any way am I an expert, or do I even know. So what I'm doing here is, okay, I just dipped into that blue and I am adding water to it already right here, because I want it to be very transparent. So I'm probably getting it like the coffee. I was just before the tea. And I'm going to go across. Now, see, I probably want it lighter than that even. But now maybe there's a lighter blue I could use, but this is going to be fine. And I'm just washing and going across. And I'm just washing, just doing a wash across. Oh, you know what I didn't do, and what I should have done is, this is what I didn't do. So I'm going to do this down here. See, as you can see, I'm no expert. I just sprayed it. Now it's wet. So let's see how differently that does down here, because I wet it. Oh, see? That is nice. Okay, see how that is nice? They got kind of dark up there. Okay, now what I want to do, now this is what I want to do with this. I'm going to dry this now. Oh, one of the things you can do, oh, let me help you learn this, because see, I'm learning this. I am no way I'm an expert. Got me a paper towel here, because now, let me see how this works. Now, I did not, now you can pull paint back up by tapping. Look at this here. Now, by tapping with that paper towel, I just pulled paint up. And you can do this depending on how you fix your towel or your tissue, bathroom tissue, anything, is what you make your little clouds. And so that makes now I have that cloudy kind of finish there. It's kind of cloudy. And so some that water up. And it dries quite quickly when you use your heat tool or your hair dryer, whatever you're going to use. So you don't have to have a heat tool. You can use a hair dryer, or you can just blow on it, or put the fan on it, or just go get a cup of coffee and let it dry. And so I'm going to just dry it with my heat tool. Now this is going to be just plain. We want to see what this does. We want to see exactly what this does. Okay, now that looks like it's dry. All right, now I do not want to ever waste my paint. I got a little extra on this brush, and I'm just going, now this is just cardstock. So I'm taking this paint off of the brush onto my cardstock, because I'll use this cardstock. Now, what I will be probably using my gouache paints for mostly. Boy, that's a lot of paint, isn't it? That was still on the brush, so I really had a lot in there. But now I've got it mostly out. So I'm going to give it a little rinse in my rinse water. 2 rinse waters. Well, I've got 3. My rinse water, I'm going to rinse my first rinse water. And another thing I've learned from watching those YouTubes is one of the experts, because I've watched some experts and some beginners. Some of the beginners I could make more sense out of than experts. But they say to go, when you're putting your water, when you put your brush in the water, is to put a figure 8 in the water. And the brush, it'll get the paint out of the barrel of the brush here, or the ferrule, or whatever you call that. Furel, something they call that barrel of the brush. Okay, so there I've got all the paint out of that brush. See, now it's stained, but there is no paint in that brush. All right, so now by putting it on this cardstock too, we're going to find out also that way if it wrinkles or how that works. Now that's already dry on there and it hasn't wrinkled, so that's good. Now, then I'm going to take, now this is just plain, we're just playing, and I want to take one of the pointy brushes. I'll take the larger pointy brush now. It's a little bit wet, but I'm going to go in through, I'm going to take some of this burnt umber, and I'm not going to squeeze out more water in that at all. I want to, you know how to draw a tree? You just put a bunch of sticks. So I'm just going to go like this. Now this is not, I am just a beginner. Keep in mind, I'm just a beginner. And as you will be able to see from the finished product, that yes, this woman is nothing but just a beginner. And so, and you just kind of know how trees just kind of branch out. They just have a bunch of branches. So now some of these I dipped in. See, I have to learn how much paint to actually put on my brush. But I am loving, 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 loving this already. And my painting, my drawings and stuff, and and I'm just a beginner at everything. I'm always just a beginner. I'm still just a beginner at life, even though I'm almost 70. But I go ahead and say that I'm 70 already. That way, when I turn 70, it won't be a shock. So it's best to do it that way. So we have a lot of branches on this tree, and we're just going kind of up here with little branches. How big do we want this tree? We can keep going on forever and make it a very big tree. And maybe we'll just make a smaller tree right here. And I'm just using that burnt umber. And I love it. That went crooked on that one. I didn't want that. I didn't want it to do that. But okay. And now I want my trunk. My trunk I want to more look like a trunk. Like the trunk of the tree, not like the trunk of a skunk. Well, skunks don't have trunks. Elephants have trunks, and cars have trunks, and trees have trunks. Oh, and then you can buy a trunk, like a train trunk. Now, see, this tree is beginning to look sort of like a tree. I think it's close enough. Hey, don't you think? And so, and then I also know one of the things about the art is you put your sunshine somewhere. Like if I want my sun to be up here, like this might be my sun right here. So then I'll know the sun is coming this way. So I'm going to have shading on this side. Sun is here, shading will be on this side. If you have the sun over here, shading will be on this side. But I'm not so into the shading stuff yet. I'm not sure exactly how that works. So, I'm going to be working on shading though. But this is like, I'm going to be making more videos on painting. And this, now see, you can watch videos that teach you from the experts that teach you. Now that's good. You watch them experts because they'll teach you stuff. I had to get a drink of that coffee. Okay, so now I'm going to rinse, rinse, rinse. I got 3 waters over here that I rinse. And so my water is, the third one is completely clear still. Okay, so now I want to get the smallest. Now I want to get the smallest pointy brush. Oh man, this, now I will probably go on even after my video and keep playing with this. I'm not sure exactly, but see, that's already dry. This dries pretty fast, this gouache paint. Now, the gouache is different from a watercolor because it is heavier bodied and it has a lot of pigment in it. It's just a heavier body. What they said in some that I watched was, now and then when, as because I watched so many and some of them kind of contradict the others, so you got to kind of take what makes sense. But like it'll say watercolor and then gouache and then acrylic. So the watercolor is the wateriest, the gouache is heavier bodied, and then the acrylic is heaviest body if you're going into water-based paints, apparently. Now, okay, and another thing, like I put all of these out into these pans. I may not touch any of them. You can close this pan up, or if you've got an open palette, you can just let them dry. But it's best to kind of cover them up a little bit with saran wrap or something if you've got an open palette. But they'll dry, then you spray them with water, and they reconstitute so you can use them again. Now, watercolor in the pans work best like that. But when you have this like this, now I've noticed that a lot of people will take and fill their pan up with the color out of there. Just fill the pan up. I'm not going to fill these up. I'm just putting a little bit in there. And as it dries, it'll probably crack. But that is not a problem either, because even if it cracks, it'll still reconstitute with water, and you've got the same paint as what you started. So I'm going to go into here now, and into this is the pearl green, and I want to make some leaves on my tree. And as I am seeing here that this paint is layering really, really nicely. Now, all the paints that I have ever used have been very inexpensive. I have not used anything that is like a high dollar type of paint. And you can buy some very high dollar paint. But for what I do, I don't want high dollar paint. This right here is going to be beautiful. Now, some people paint, are professional artists, they paint for a living, they paint, um, you know, they get real high dollars for their paintings or something. Now, see, they might go and buy the real high dollar paints. And look, you can see right here where I'm going over the brown, it completely covers that brown. It does not, this paint that I just put over the brown is 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 showing up just beautiful. So I am just making these little leaves here and there and everywhere, and then I'm going to, I'll go into this green here, a little bit darker green, and so I can have some more leaves hanging. Look at all these these leaves are hanging. These are this is a hanging leaf tree. And so, but what I want to do, because my love is making journals, and so I'm not crazy about painting in a like this, and then just leaving it. I like to use my painting for something. So what I would probably do is to maybe just paint so, and it doesn't have to be an image. It can just be um oh, what do you call that mismatch of whatever, just a lot of color, a lot of um oh, now the word is not coming to me, but oh, yeah, the word's not coming to me now. um but whatever. And then you can cut these pages, because now watercolor paint paper is a heavy paper. So if I were to cut this like along here, along here, along here, I got 4 pockets that I can put into a journal. And then you have your own artwork on your journal. Your own artwork on your journal, and that is awesome. And just the feeling it gives you just to put paint on a paper is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Now, these paints, I have to say, are affordable. That's another thing I did, was I looked at prices of paints in different brands. And oh my gosh, there is some paint that you can give an arm and a leg for. There, and everybody that I know anyway wants to keep all their arms and their legs. They don't want to give up any of them. And so the pricing on these paints are amazing. And I have noticed too that Arteza they will offer sales. And so, like, already, if you use the coupon below, you get 10% off of your entire order. Not just one item, your entire order is 10% off. And then, like I say, then I will make a little bit, because I'll be called an affiliate. Now, I myself plan to buy more art supplies from Arteza, because I just love them. I have already bought their pencils before they even contacted me with this here. I bought pencils, the colored water pencils, and I bought the paint in the palette thing. And and so I was already in love with them. I'm going to go now back in here. I want, see, I've already got this blue at the bottom here, but, oops, I want, I want it a little green. So now I want to have it some greenish down there. Like, was this the sap green? I think that was the sap green. Okay, I'm going to try that. Just use the sap green. I'm going to, and I'm going to use it watered. So I'm going to see what happens if I just squeezed the brush to put a little bit more water in there. So I'm going to see what happens here if I go just to put a little bit green down here over the blue, just to make it kind of like it's like a little grassy. And now I can see that even though I've already put the blue on there and did the whole backwash in a blue, that now as I'm putting the green on, it is covering it beautifully. Just beautifully. I love it. I think it's great. So there now I have, this is nice. Oh, I love this. Now, and like I say, I'm just a beginner. I'm just a beginner. I'm just a beginner. And now I have, I only put one color of blue out, didn't I? Okay, so I want to get another color of blue. I don't want to keep you all too long, but oopsie daisies, I've got an avalanche of paint over here. I'm going to get, what is this? This one, it says sky blue. So I'm going to put this sky blue in here. I'm going to get me a little bit of sky blue. Now that's a much lighter blue. Okay, now let me get the green out of my brush. Okay, and I'm going to, there we go, and now I'm going to go into the sky blue a little bit, but I want it a little bit watered. I don't want to, I'm thinking for most of your backgrounds, you will use more of a liquidy consistency. More of a liquid consistency you will use for your backgrounds, where, oh, that's, I need more. I think I got that. I'm going to get that little bit more. Oh yeah, that's better. A little bit more watery. I just want to get a little bit more water in there. And I'm going to pick some of it back up just so I get a little bit more of a variance of blues in there. And pick some of it up. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh. Now see, now I'm liking this a lot. I'm liking this a lot, a very lot. I didn't put any leaves on that tree right there. Why not? Well, I can do that now. Put a few little leaves on that little tree. The little tree needs little trees. Little leaves. And you don't need to have like just spots, you know, just kind of make them like a long spot. And there we go. We got some leaves. We got some leaves. Let's go into this pearl too and get a little bit of pearl. Make them pretty. Do you know what? My hands are full of brushes now. Okay, I'm going to, now, I want to clean that because all of a sudden I decided that I wanted a apple tree. Oh, but I don't have red for apples. I got pink. I didn't put a red out there. Let me find a red. I want to see what a red looks like. You know what? I might play with this like all day long. Since the hubster is gone, what is this? Vermilion red. This is vermilion red. Oh yeah, that's red. So I am going to just dip that in there. See, you will hear people talk about wet on wet, wet on dry. So this is actually what the page is dry. It dries quickly, but so this is a wet on dry. Wet on wet is when you spray it first, and so like when you're doing your when you're doing your backgrounds, usually wet on wet. Apparently, that's the way I'm going to go anyway. And then I will when I do the detail, then I will go wet on dry. And this is what you can do with gouache that is not real possibly to do with just the regular watercolors. Gouache, you can do this because see, now I'm putting these apples on the tree, and even where I painted them over the blue, where the blue is quite dark, the apples are showing up as beautiful red, just exactly like it came out of the tube. And very opaque, very opaque. And although these tubes are small, they a little bit goes a long way. So the tube of paint, you'll probably never have to um, replace your paints because such a little bit goes such a long way. A couple of these apples fell on the ground here. Always, if you have an apple tree, there's a couple of them that fell on the ground. So we'll have those ones right there. And then let's put a couple apples. See this little apple tree, that's just got little crab apples on it, so we'll just put them. We used to have a crab apple tree up in Minnesota. We didn't use it. We didn't eat the apples because they're very bitter, and but we would have crab apple fights and get in trouble because they would tell the other kids, when you have 6 kids in your family, somebody's going to be a tattletale and say, Lizzie just hit me with a crab apple. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, um, I don't, oh God, I did not clean my brush off on my paper. Um, Look how pretty that looks. Oh, I need some apples up here too. Why didn't I put some up there? I need apples up there. I didn't put apples in that part of the tree. But this is just a beginning. This is just a beginning, and this is here. This is, I am a person that am so new at watercolor painting, but because I have bought cheaper paints, and these are like these are not like dirt cheap. They're not cheap like if you're going to go buy at the Dollar Tree, which I've bought paint at the. Look at this here paint I've got, $1.50 for all of them, and I've painted with them. There's not a lot of pigment in them, but there is some, so you can still paint. But these, I'm amazed with these. I'm amazed, so amazed with these paints. And yes, I'm going to use them. Um, I am going to use them. And there is going to be, I think that Arteza just wants me to make one video. They only expect me to make one, but I'm going to be making more because I love it. So I'm my watercolor painting because look how pretty that is. I think it's very pretty. Very pretty. And then if you take a oh, let me put my reds here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, I'm getting me a picture right here. And look at me putting this. I'm putting this right on cardstock. So if you don't have watercolor watercolor paper, and you just get the watercolors, you can paint on what cardstock. You can. There is no problem with that, because you do not have to do everything expert like. No, we are crafters mainly that watch this channel are crafters. I don't have a lot of artists. I do have artists, but I have mostly crafters in my subscribers. So I know most of you watching are crafters. And and I'm thinking a lot of what we paint will turn out to be pockets in our journals, or flip outs in our journals, the things that we do in our journals, or fronts of greeting cards. So that's what I want to do a lot of, is small things that will make a front of a greeting card. Like I put in my journal here. This journal I have finished, and but let me see if I can find the page that I have my card in, because I painted a card, and let's see. Here it is. This is just a greeting card right here, but I glued it into my journal so that I have journaling spaces. I used a stamp to stamp this door. All of the decoration around it I painted, and I painted this all with oh no, I don't remember if I did gouache. Okay, I think I did do gouache, but it was all watered down. Very watered gouache on this one, mostly. And so, but like, this is the kind of things that we do in, but if you've made a journal and you've got some of your own artwork, as simple as this is, now um, taking a stamp and then just paint around it. And I painted in the little curtains in the windows. And then I have another one in here. Let me see. Another one in here. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I've got so many different things in my journal. But I have got a couple pages that let's see. I had fun with this journal. Put tabs on almost all the pages. I've got a tab. So you have different artwork. This is acrylic paint, but I used the leaf as a stamp. This is artwork, but it's gel painting on a mandala. Well, I know it's in here, but there's so much in here. That was that. Well, you're getting a flip through of my book. But I think well, Elizabeth. Well, why? It's probably at the very beginning, and I started in the middle. Because I wanted to give you one other. Oh, here. This here, I drew a line, or I painted a line very lightly across the center. And so I put one color of blue down here for the water, and another wash of blue up here for the sky. And then I used the tissue to pull up to make the clouds. Now the little dolphins, I have a stencil, and I just traced the stencil. Just traced the little dolphins that are on the stencil, and then I painted in the dolphins jumping in the water. And I think this turned out awesome. I love how that turned out. And this is like one of the first ones I did. And this I used the gouache paints. And I love it. I just love it. I think it turned out gorgeous. And so that the ideas are just completely and like I say, I'm going to be doing more and more and more. Now, this is what I find is to be so magical. Now I'm going to take this tape off. Now look, when you say, now I save this tape because I'll use this on another, I'll use this on another page. And actually, because as long as it's a little bit sticky, you can keep using it. But then look what happens when you pull it off. Look at how that image turned out now. With it looks like it's already matted, it's already framed, and oh, it makes the whole image different. Now you can even, which I have played somewhere, I don't have it right here, with the small pointy brush, and I've actually written words, and you can write beautiful words with this paint and the small pointy brush. So I might write just the word hope or love or something on here. If you had enough, I mean, you could even paint right over everything and put wording on there. But this is a beginner. This is, and I love it. And yes, I realize I got a lot to learn. But I'm happy with the beginning. I am very happy with the beginning. And so thank you all for watching. And like I say, there is going to be more and more and more. Oh, you know what? I was doing this black because I wanted to go in and just put, almost forgot that. I wanted to just put a little bird or two. And so, just to put like a little tiny flying bird. Let's put, they like to go in groups. So there I got a few little birds. And look what a fine line that brush puts up. So then I got those little birds. See, little birds. They're, right there. They're going to go get them a bite out of an apple. Okay, thank you. May God bless you. May He watch over each and every one of you and guide every one of your steps, every one of your words. And I will see you on the next video. And I'm going to have a lot more painting videos because I am just so drawn to this. And I thank Arteza for asking me to do this because they didn't charge me for this paint. They knew I couldn't. If they looked at my videos, they know I'm not a painter. But now I have this. And by the time I do post this, there's going to be a link below that you can link right into Arteza's site, and I encourage you to try it. I encourage you. I really do, and not because because I know I won't make a lot off of it. I'll make a few pennies, which is fine, because it adds up. But I encourage you to try this because it just gives you a feeling that you really accomplished something. What is that word that they use? There's a word. Well, I can't think of it now either. But I can never think of my words. But this is for us, for the type of people we are, that I know most of you all so well, and this is what we need in our lives, to sit here, and even if you just then turn the page and do another one, different, same, keep doing the same painting and see how it changes. Always sign your paints too, no matter what you paint. Put a little sign there, your name. And yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying to you today. And thank you again so much for hanging out. And I'm just talking while I'm looking for my mouse. Oh, there it is. Okay. And thank you, Arteza, for being so kind and for choosing me along with the all others that you've chosen to do this. You all are so kind, and your products are and they didn't tell me what to say either. No, they didn't give me no script. This is just they sent to regular normal people. Well, like I say, I'm not normal, but no scripting. They didn't tell me what I have to say. But anyway, I thank you, Artesia, so much. God bless you all.